I have stood in front of thousands of people in hundreds of countries, and I'm more nervous today than ever. And that, it's not that I'm nervous, it's just that it's kind of like a homecoming for me. But before I start and talk about that, I just want to thank Father Devin, the faculty, the board of directors, and most of all the graduating class of 2017 for your courage, your work, and your pending graduation. Give yourselves a round of applause. And, you know, I would like to thank each and every one of you personally, but I don't know all of you, and quite frankly, I've forgotten some of you. So this is a good way of getting back and learning and connecting again. I must be honest, this type of homecoming for me that, frankly, is one that I thought would never happen. In fact, when Father Devin reached out to me, the first thing in my mind was, are you sure? You okay? You want me to speak in front of the, I mean, what can I give to these incredible young men that might inspire them to move forward? Because a group destined for professions in the boardroom, in business, in the corporate world, what would I give you that is beyond the stage or even wearing tights? This question I can answer with a little bit of my background. I am an immigrant. My family and I arrived from Cuba to the States when I was 5 years old. Like most other Cuban families, we left everything and we had to start anew. So settling in the Bronx, we weren't the Miami Cubans, we're the Bronx Cubans. Settling in the Bronx was an experience that was jarring and at times confusing and always full of challenges. We settled in the Bronx and slowly began the process that at that time was called assimilation. Today it's called running from ICE. And let me tell you that back then the surrounding area was really tough. Not what you see today. And even the Botanic Gardens, I mean the Botanic Gardens for me, along with the prep, was an oasis. And today it's stunning. I'm so glad that it has really grown. The whole area, it's amazing. I am aware of you, that some of you can take Metro North to the Botanical Garden Station. That didn't happen. So it's really wonderful to see this this newness, this renewal, and I think a lot of it has to do with the prep. I mean, the prep was always a place of sanctuary for learning and sanctuary for young men like me. My devoted parents sent me to St. Margaret Mary's School just a few blocks away, and it was through the HAP, or Higher Achievement Program, that I was introduced to Fordham Prep, which was so amazing because as an ESL student, school was everything for me, because as I grasped the language, I realized the power of knowledge, and so it opened up for me an awareness and knowledge that frankly became a mentor. So imagine an immigrant, poor kid, crossing that bridge on Fordham Road and entering this very special world of learning and community. Community like I never experienced, where you studied with friends, debated, experienced a dignity not found in the streets where I grew up. And all the while, you were urged to ponder, search, explore, and get out of your comfort zone. And yes, it was uncomfortable. I remember my first homecoming game day. I was so confused. One, because at home we didn't kind of celebrate like this. Neither our Thanksgiving, we had pork, we didn't have turkey. So just in that same way, I didn't know anything about teams and what it meant to be a team, and everybody just coming together. And so that was my first experience of, wow, look at this community and how important it is to embrace community, as part of who you are. At the prep, the Spanish club, Ms. Pinedo, kept me in touch with my first language and a handful of other Latino men at the prep. It's great to see the diversity in this room. It was something for me at that time with our fellow Latinos and young men of color to find a club to be together. So that was really important. So the prep continued to offer that and continues to offer that kind of community and connection to each other and diversity. And I'm really glad to see that. I was not a football man, though I did try for the track team. I failed miserably. It was the choir where a passion for performance was fueled, along with the many musical productions with Mount St. Ursula, yes, I said it, Aquinas, and St. Barnabas, that kept my social life busy and the dance bug alive and kicking. Mr. James Johnson was an extraordinary teacher and instilled in us a passion for music that was not only inspirational, but spiritual. What I wasn't aware of at the time were the many lessons I was learning because of the choir and the many clubs, teachers, and experiences I was able to have at Fordham Prep. The value of giving back, the value of curiosity, and the being of service to my community and to my fellow man and woman was slowly being instilled in me. My dance career is too long of a story to get into, and why I got into it was because of a Catholic school. We did a performance of You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown. I was Linus, I had a dance, and my 8th grade teacher said, well, you go ahead and do it. And I did, and I was stuck there. So coming to the prep and being in the choir really continued to fuel that. But suffice to know that the life I chose as a performing artist was difficult physically, emotionally, and spiritually. But through it all, I had the values I learned here to support my perseverance and, yes, even separate me from the crowd. The values of understanding place, formal, informal, how to start a conversation and bring compassion to all through the simplest of ways quickly helped me emerge as a leader. While performing, I nurtured a love for teaching. I developed arts programs for kids in homeless shelters back in the 90s and immersed myself with teaching young people in my community in the hope that the arts would be a way for them too to find themselves. After achieving a master's degree in Chicago, I developed my own 501c3 organization, which you heard about, Luna Negra Dance Theater. The organization really helped me build my business acumen, one meeting at a time, one fundraising moment at a time. So coming into as a CEO role, was a little easier than I could have ever imagined. The organization in Chicago was successful, and through it all, the value I learned here of being a man for others continued to shape who I was. Through community advocacy and the need to serve marginalized communities, I continued to develop arts programming that served many, beyond the stage, beyond the applause, beyond the beauty and the fun of what it is. The arts can change people, can give opportunities, and so along with all our other sports and ways of finding community, I have always felt that the arts does that. Today I lead the premier Latino organization in the nation. I am both a CEO and artistic director. I wear many, many hats. And yes, I can read a spreadsheet. The work we do is based on creating extraordinary art and giving arts access to all communities. And in a time where there are challenges to our humanity, dignity, and diversity, I am blessed to have a voice for my community to serve and to show kindness and beauty. I was recently on the West Coast teaching a workshop for young Latino men in detention centers. The power of the arts is great. The power of humanity is greater. And the power of faith embraces all of that. When I looked into the arts of those young men who lived behind a locked door, and worked with them, saw them find some solace and dignity in what we were able to give them, I became that same bridge that the prep was for me in the 80s. And I will continue to do so, and so will our programming. That is why I keep with me from my time at the prep a fearlessness, extending dignity through my art, the ability to break boundaries, and always the need to serve. I want to congratulate the class of 2017 and remind you that no matter where you land, there is always an opportunity to serve. Thank you.